Okay, so if you're a marketer, there's one question that's probably been keeping you up at night, and today we are going to answer it. This is your field manual for how to get seen, heard, and yeah, ranked inside ChatGPT.
This, this is basically the silent prayer behind every single marketing plan this year. It's this hope that the world's most powerful AI will somehow pull your brand's name out of the noise of the entire internet. You know, the stakes have just never been higher.
And here's why. We're talking about roughly 5 billion monthly visits to ChatGPT. According to SEMrush, that makes it the 5th busiest website on the entire planet. This isn't just some cool new tool anymore. It's a primary discovery engine. It's where your customers are right now, looking for answers.
And the future this points to is, well, it's staggering. Gartner is projecting that by 2026, conversational AI, stuff like ChatGPT, is going to siphon off a full quarter of all clicks from classic search engines like Google. I mean, that's a massive shift in how people find things, and it is happening right now.
So you can bet marketers are not waiting around. A recent poll found that 68%, that's more than 2/3 of us, have already started moving budget over to getting visibility in AI search. The race is on, and the question is no longer if you should care, it's how you're going to win.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by defining this new search engine. Then, we'll get into the mindset of thinking like an LLM. After that, we'll unpack a 5-part playbook, share a real 60-day sprint story, and cover the metrics that actually matter. And we'll wrap it all up with your 90-day mission.
Let's just be crystal clear about something. This is a new search engine. And trying to apply your old SEO rules here, it's like trying to navigate New York City with a map from the 1800s. The rules are different, the whole landscape has changed, and your old playbook isn't just incomplete, it's dangerous.
So to succeed here, it really requires a fundamental mindset shift. We have to stop thinking about isolated keywords and start thinking about entire conversations. This means you got to understand how a large language model, an LLM, actually thinks and processes information.
And this slide just illustrates the change perfectly. The old way was all about ranking for that one big, shiny keyword. But the new way, it's about owning what we call prompt constellations. That's the whole cluster of related micro-questions a user might have about, budget, features, or integrations. You're not just winning a keyword anymore, you're winning an entire topic.
All right, now for the tactical part. This is the 5-part playbook. Think of this as your field manual for actually dominating visibility inside these new AI-driven conversations.
Here are the 5 pillars. First, you've got to master those prompt constellations. Second, upgrade your content to be AI-friendly. Third, create a direct API feed. Fourth, manufacture corroboration, and we'll get into that. And fifth, you have to commit to a 90-day refresh cycle. Let's dig into a couple of these.
Okay, let's talk about that content core. You have to think of LLMs as wanting well-labeled food. Things like stat boxes, super easy for them to grab and quote verbatim. Layered schema, which is just a fancy way of saying structured data, gives them valuable context. Primary research, that boosts the model's confidence that you're accurate. And consistent author bios, that helps with those EEAT signals: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. It's all about making your content really easy for the AI to digest and to trust. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, this idea of manufacturing corroboration bias. See, these large models, they uprank facts that they can cross-check from a bunch of different sources. So you can strategically plant echoes of your key data points all across the web. You can pitch data to publications, you can publish PDFs on SlideShare, you can even be a guest on podcasts where the transcripts will get crawled. And this quote just gets right to the heart of it. This isn't about spamming backlinks like we did in the old days. It's a totally different philosophy. You are strategically creating independent witnesses that can all vouch for your information, building this web of trust that an AI can easily see and verify. So what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's walk through a quick 60-day sprint with a fintech app that went from being a complete ghost in ChatGPT's results to being an indispensable source of information. This timeline really shows you the power of a focused effort. On day 1, they were invisible, total ghost. After just 1 week of what they called content surgery, they started seeing movement. By day 14, they created those witnesses by syndicating their data. And the result? A jump to a 61% visibility score by day 34. But here's the kicker, the metric that really matters. By day 60, they could point to 74 new trial signups directly attributed to their AI visibility. That's real revenue.
A brilliant result like that leads to a really crucial question. How do you actually measure success in this new world? So let's talk about the metrics that matter, and maybe more importantly, the myths you really need to ignore.
Here are 4 KPIs that truly move the needle. Prompt share of voice. That's basically what percentage of target prompts you get mentioned in. Citation depth tracks how much you're quoted. Time to refresh keeps your content from going stale. And the big one, AI-sourced pipeline. You should be aiming for 5 to 10% of your sales-qualified leads, your SQLs, to come from this channel within about 3 months.
Okay, let's bust a common myth. You'll hear people say, oh, ChatGPT ignores schema. That is just false. The reality is that its browsing mode absolutely parses this structured data, and Bing's crawler feeds that super valuable metadata directly to the model to help it make sense of your content.
And here's another one. Links don't matter anymore. Wrong again. Authority, which is still heavily influenced by links, is a primary signal that tells the model which pages to even bother scraping and trusting in the first place. So yeah, foundational SEO principles still absolutely apply.
All right, so where do you start with all this? Let's move to your 90-day mission. This is a practical, actionable checklist designed to get you some wins, starting today.
This breaks it down week by week so it's not so overwhelming. You start with an audit to see where you stand. Then you move to implementation, adding schema, publishing fresh data. Next, you optimize what you already have, like author bios. And finally, you launch your dashboards and have a weekly meeting to track progress and see what's working. It's a clear, totally manageable process.
And this brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway from this whole thing. Getting visibility in ChatGPT, it isn't some magic trick. It's not an impossible moonshot. It is an operations problem. It's a process that you can manage with structured data, with corroborated facts, and with just relentless iteration.
So I'll leave you with this question. You have the playbook now, you have the metrics, and you have the mission. Is your brand just going to be another name that happens to appear in a ChatGPT answer? Or are you going to be the brand that actually owns the conversation? The choice is yours.